Hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna talk about another beast that people tend to suffer that makes them have base decisions which ultimately will come and bring to us base decisions. I expect you are ready to help me by subscribing the video and posteriorly seeing other videos to make you a better person. What's gonna be the beast that we're gonna talk today is gonna be the Hedonic Anchoring Bias. And what is this beast? The hedonic anchoring beast happens when we get used to a certain level of comfort, luxury, or pleasure, and then find it psychologically difficult to go back to a lower level, even if it's financially or practically necessary. Our perception of satisfactions adjusts quickly, making what once a luxury feel like a necessity. And that's something that obviously it comes more with people that sometimes have kind of grown in their life, people that kind of have poverty, they were in poverty, they come like in terms of wealth talking, they've kind of become rich, and this happens with a lot of rappers, happens with some players. Then they kind of were so consumed with being poor, then when they saw by using their talents or some type of skill that they've developed, and then above them these skills they have earned their money, then they will spend all the money that they've got, and they will come back from their basic level where they started the life. And the reality is that it's something that it's more difficult for people that were once kind of accustomed with being held with being with a lot of wealth things, a lot of luxury items. They come back from the basic level of what was and we can call as poverty. It's difficult for their people to live in that situation than other one that has never kind of seen any type of luxury item in their life, because what our brain is made to always follow what is and gets more utility for us, and then what in this scenario create as is can be called as utility. Utilities like all the things that satisfies our needs, we tend to perceive that has utility. And then situations where you feel that you're gonna having more utility is nowadays people that have a lot of money around. People that have a lot of money, they can earn and they have enough money to spend in all the needs that we have. But and with that, what can happen? Sometimes our brain has and creates greedy. What's greedy? Greedy is like having the desires to act toward getting a better life, to getting a higher probability to satisfy all the needs that I have. And then why we feel motivated towards money. We have money kind of make by association, by learning that we have connected money with satisfaction of our needs, and then we perceive value in money. And then that's why we like to get money, and that's why as well a lot of the things, probably a lot of the problems that we see today are caused by money. People that obviously they got from heritage, they've got so money, and then two brothers that have kind of lived so well during their lifetime in the moment, and they will receive these type of funds from their parents that unfortunately have go away, and then they receive it, and fights come by fighting to get as much resources as possible, because we are egoistic, and obviously we attach the perception of value that make us have so greedy towards this item and want to have it at all costs and not losing. That's why as well people don't like to lose it. People like sometimes to try to not give neither type of prizes, try to not spend in certain type of things that would be useful, but just because of the loss aversion of not wanting to lose this resource, you want to get and grasp as much as possible. And that's why it kind of explains this argument from probably money being the thing that people most praise to have. And then obviously what comes with that, we like to get as much as possible. And when you're kind of so accustomed to our brain with having it and having the possibility to hold, our brain gets accustomed that, well, this is the basal level that I have to maintain during my lifetime. This is so good, I want to maintain. I know now that I'm in that level of wealth, that is this that life, and this is what can be called that life is good. And then what happens? Our brain has the ability to learn, and he learns, so what is a level that it feels so better. And then if it, and by having this level of comparison, when then so they will try to experience other type of feelings, obviously, or other type of experiences, kind of adopting other social paper, in that case poor people, obviously. So it's much gonna be, is gonna be much more difficult because he already have got a learning of what could be a better life. Other one that doesn't have first level, even if both are in the same situation, both are poor, but because one of them already prior it was rich, then it's more difficult to him because our brain gonna have this level of reference than other one that always was poor. Not gonna have it because he doesn't have this learning in their brain about what's good. It's like brain doesn't having the feeling that what could be a better life, and then is almost like it's never existed, and then so I'm gonna work just what I have got in my life that holds was being poor in comparison with other one is gonna be more difficult, and then so probability to someone like that be more depressed is much higher, even if you have experienced during a considerable type of time span a wealth life. And then so it's basically the way that our brain works that sometimes can be a curse for these type of peoples that sometimes can even be more judge over him than someone that was poor because they already have the opportunity to manage their well the wealth that were created was their bad type of management of their wealth that so bring them back to their initial type of status. And then we're more susceptible when we obviously when the upgrade happiness when the upgrade happens quickly, sometimes getting a big salary raise and adjusting to a more expensive lifestyle. That's something that happens a lot, and even more with people that they were poor in comparison now they're much more rich. They have so much type of things that they now are getting as new in their soul, based in that now they're having more socioeconomical type of possibilities of what they can do, being now more present in events, being now having more experiences, while other ones they kind of were a bit weights and then they will not feel the greedy to experience all these new things, while other ones that are not kind of accustomed since the then when they started the life, it's much more like impulsive type of behavior to buy everything now that they got that's their wealth, which so is obviously is a bad way to manage, and in long term they will come back because they don't work in their savings type of sources, they just spend what they got. And so when the aggregate happens quickly, it's even worse because we're not kind of have adapted our brain to pass to just a consumer type of behavior to a more managed and more balanced. So sometimes we don't like, and this is something that we see a lot today, when some type of people that are kind of young that have and kind of become famous with internet so quickly that they get hold that money and they don't well and then don't know how to manage because they have not matured. It's not was a journey that they have been developed to get kind of used to with so much money in a once, and then so they don't manage well and they come back from their initial status. When we associate the new standard with identity or social status, as what I said, and then so we need to match this new type of social status that I want to be present by having so much money. When we surround ourselves with people live all at that level constantly, obviously worse as well, people that get rich and then so they get accustomed to kind of spend whole money they've got because they get with people, and obviously by social proof we wanted to get approval for others, we follow the same behavior as they do, and then so this obviously is not sustainable. That's like the main problem of this type of behaviors, when the improvement happens gradually making it hard to notice the increased expectations. That's the other way around. It's like both can be something that can be like bad. When the upgrade happens quickly, it's bad because we're not habituated, and then so we feel so we have kind of accumulated so much greedy, so much willingness to experience things that I don't balance and I quickly lose. But sometimes what can happen as well, when the improvement happens gradually, making it hard to notice increased expectations. It's just like I've not noticed during I've not noticed that I increase. So what is something that makes happy over the time? Sometimes in the past when I was poor, the only thing that I was need just probably were playing some football with friends. Then that I've been accustomed with being with having this type of resources, like much more money over time, over the time, I've kind of accustomed now to need more and more and more things. And then so not just like in the past, in comparison, I've had the need to play football to feeling good. Now I already need to play and be in the video games like 1 hour too. Now I start getting more, going more over the time. Now what I need is to going to the parties and spending whole lot of money in alcohol and these things. Now I gain more. Now I go for the art events. Now I need that I need to feel pleasure. I need to spend a lot of money in dresses to go to these type of VIP parties, and then it's there. And then so this kind of gradually increasing. Obviously, if I have the ability to raise money, then sometimes as a sustainable, sometimes it's not like a fall. It's not as well gradually happen. Sometimes it's quickly that we enter in a debt type of bankruptcy, and then we quickly decrease our wealth conditions, which so now a pleasure level is too much higher than we have been constructed. Over the time we have been layering what make us pleasurable, and then a simple basketball or a simple type of football game with our friends that was initially in my life kind of gave me pleasure. Now I'm not feeling nothing and I don't like it because I have gradually increased what was my perception of pleasure over the time. And then so that's why it's important to getting out. Practice gratitude. Remind yourself that you were happy before these upgrades and that luxury doesn't define fulfillment. Redefine essentials. Ask yourself, if I had ever experienced this upgrade, would I actually pay for it now? It's the other thing that's important. Expose yourself to simpler alternatives. Deliberately try to more basic options to reset your expectations. So deliberately is why it's good to balance pleasure in pain. It's not because you have kind of become so rich, because even billionaires they work still. It's something that's it's health, it's pain. You need to balance. Your brain was not made to just feel pleasure, neither just always to feel pain. What your brain is made is to be balanced. You have to have things that have pain, that you sacrifice your short-term pleasure to get in long term, like doing diet, doing exercise, but you have as well so some type of short-term pleasure. Sometimes you can eat fast food, sometimes you can play some video games, but don't do an balance neither for one type of the parts, neither for other ones. Balance. Pain and pleasure is the main takeaway that we have to got. Have pain type of actions in your life that you have so sacrifice your short-term pleasure to get a long-term pleasure, but as well have some type of short-term pleasure in your day-to-day life. Is the best way to balance this system and not being someone that just seeks pleasure over the time, but someone as well that's always obsessed and feels bad when as well tries to and wants to explore some type of pleasure. Be balanced is the best way that you can get from these videos. So I expect this makes you a better person, and see you in the next one.